Hey everybody, it's Man, and today I wanted to talk about a game that I recently played from a series that I absolutely love. So, for those of you who don't know, I am a really big fan of the Shantae series. I own all the games digitally, almost all the games physically. I would own them all physically if I didn't lose my copy of the most recent game that came out. Still sad that I lost that, and I own a bunch of the merchandise, and we're talking like plushies and steelbook cases and all that sort of stuff. So I really love this series. And recently, about a week ago, at the time of this recording, the newest game, in quotation marks, Shantae Advanced Risky's Revolution, came out on Nintendo Switch. That is how I was able to play it, because even though I own the GBA version of this game, I not only lost that, but I also lost my Nintendo DS. I cannot find them anywhere, so I was unable to play the GBA version when I received it. So to give you a little history on Shantae Advance, this was going to be the original sequel to the Game Boy game Shantae. Shantae Advanced, I believe, started development in 2002 and lasted till 2004, I want to say. I know that the game has been in development for at least 20 years now. To my knowledge, the reason why the game wasn't released sooner, like back in 2004, was because WayForward could not find a publisher for the game, which is completely understandable. So instead, they restarted development and made Shantae Risky's Revenge, which came out in 2010 for the DSi. So, big gap between the original Shantae and Shantae Risky's Revenge. Shantae Advance Risky's Revolution is supposed to take place right before Shantae Risky's Revenge, explaining how Shantae's friends, Bolo, Sky, and Roddy Tops all met each other, because in the first game, Shantae met all those guys, and yet they never met each other, and they were just suddenly all friends in Risky's Revenge. And that's the basic gist of the story of the game. In the game, Risky creates a machine that rotates Sequinland or Sequinland, I don't really know how it's pronounced, and all the other areas around the world, basically, so that she can steal all the treasures around the world. So Shantae has to go on an adventure to put the land back into place. It is, gameplay-wise, a really, really fun game. I don't think any of the Shantae games are unfun to play. Personally, they all control really well, and Risky's Revolution is no exception. It controls really well. The transformation dances, all the animals that you can transform into control really well in the game. It's a fun Metroidvania-style game that you can get a lot of enjoyment out of. I completed the game within 6 hours, so it's not really that long of a game. Of course, you could probably complete the game within an hour or two if you're not going for 100%, which I tried to go for 100%, but because I didn't know where all the items are, I ended the game with 6 hours with 70 or so % completion, which I think is pretty good. Typically, when I play Shantae games, I really try to 100% them on the first go. And it's kind of disappointing that I didn't get to do it with this one, but it just means I can play the game again at any point I want and try to go for 100%. For the Nintendo Switch version of the game, I bought the Digital Deluxe version, which comes with extra costumes for Shantae to wear. I don't really remember what kind of abilities these extra costumes give, but they all look really, really cute. And Shantae is just a really cute character in general, but all these costumes are like really, really cute, and they just make her look so adorable. I love it so much. I think my favorite costumes are the high voltage and sizzle armor costumes, because of the way they make Shantae's hair look. If you choose the high voltage one, her hair looks like a lightning bolt, which is just badass. And the sizzle armor suit is just, it's hot, like literally. It makes her hair look like it's on fire, and it is awesome. I need to find the time to actually replay the game with some of these costumes on, see what they do in terms of gameplay, because I don't really remember if they do anything to shake up the gameplay. I kind of hope they do. The character animations this time around for the character portraits are really, really good. They move around and they are animated this time around, which is really nice. I really like the portrait for Roddy Tops in the shop and how that moves around. The portrait you get to see when Sky and Shantae are on her giant bird just flying around, how happy they look. Just all the character portraits are just really well made this time around and are just really, really good. They add a lot of the WayForward charm to the game that I'm just used to seeing in these games. And I think that's one word that best describes Shantae Advanced the best is charming. It's a very charming game. Really pretty to look at visual wise, and the art style is just really pretty this time around. I really like Seven Sirens art style the best, but I really think Risky's Revolutions art style is probably my second favorite art style for the series. Yeah, it's really high up there. When it comes to themes I don't really like is the fact that the game is kind of buggy. I was able to get some glitches recorded, a glitch in one of the final areas where Shantae just disappeared for a while and wouldn't come back, and the fact that the game, while I was playing on my Nintendo Switch, and keep in mind, I'm playing on the Nintendo Switch 1. I do not own a Nintendo Switch 2 yet, because apparently, according to somebody on Twitter I was talking with, and yeah, I know I don't really use Twitter a lot, but I really needed to get an explanation for this. Apparently the Switch 2 version runs really fine, but the Switch 1 version is prone to crashing, and I got 3 separate crashes right before the save points, which was really frustrating, especially since one of the crashes happened right before the first boss of the game. It was really frustrating. Also, I think this is another glitch, but just sometimes the character portraits for characters just won't appear while you're talking to them. Sky and the Mare are 2 characters that I got this to happen to the most, where sometimes Sky's character portrait just won't appear, and at the very end of the game, the Mare has some dialogue, and his character portrait, despite the fact that he's had a character portrait throughout the whole game, just refuses to appear no matter how many times I talk to him in this specific section. And I want to say that's a glitch, because he has a character portrait. Sky has a character portrait. It's just that sometimes these portraits just refuse to appear when you're talking to them. Also, I don't know if this is a problem with my controller or not, but sometimes I'll be holding down on the walk button, and sometimes Shantae will just stutter stop, just suddenly stop moving and just stutter for a little bit before moving again. I don't know if anybody else has encountered this yet, but my controller isn't drifting at all, and I have my finger down on the button the whole time. I'm using the D-pad since it's a GBA game, and I'm not using the control stick, so maybe that's why it happens, but like, I don't know if anybody else has encountered this, but it's just a little thing that I noticed, and I don't know if it's a glitch or just a problem on my end. It is worth noting that about a couple days after I recorded the audio, WayForward did announce that they were making an update for the game. Oh well. Another thing I don't really like, and I get that this is supposed to be a GBA game, but there's no score screen on the save file to show how far you've gotten to gain 100% of the game. I'll show some examples on screen, but Pirate's Curse, Half Genie Hero, and Seven Sirens all have completion scores on the file select that show you how far away you are from getting 100%. In Risky's Revolution, you really got to pay attention to what items you have, because the game only keeps track of how many heart containers you've collected and how many secret squids you've collected. By the time I completed the game, I collected 35 of the 50 available secret squids, and I collected all 7 heart containers, which really weren't that hard to find, honestly. At the end of the day, however, this game has the Shantae wit. It has the character, it has the humor, and it has the WayForward charm that just every Shantae game has. Sure, it's a little buggy at times, and there are some frustrating elements to it. I haven't even said how difficult some of the enemies get in the later game. Like, ugh. Overall, I really like this game. I don't think it will be my favorite Shantae game, but it's definitely a game I'll go back and play from time to time. It's just a short, little, fun game that just has a lot of charm to it. I'm really glad that WayForward was actually able to finish this game after 20 years of development hell. Overall, if you're a fan of Metroidvania games, platformers, or just games with cute waifus in them, I highly recommend this game, and I highly recommend the Shantae series as a whole. It's a really fun series, and this game is a worthy installment of that series. Anyway, so that said, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe and share this video with your friends on Blue Sky and Discord. If you guys want me to make more Shantae content in the future, just say it and I definitely will. I really love this series. I've been Man. Let's get out of here. Also, Roddy Tops is really hot in this game.